All right, let's dive into Getting to Yes, a book that really gets to the heart of a problem we all have. How do you get what you want without either starting a fight or just getting walked all over? And this isn't just for big business deals. This is for, just navigating life itself. So let's see how it's done. The book kicks off with this idea, and it's so simple but so true, isn't it? Just think about your day so far. I mean, did you and your partner have to decide what to make for dinner? Did you try to convince your kids to finally sit down and do their homework? Yep, that's negotiation. We are doing it all the time, and we don't even realize we're in the middle of it. And this is where we all get stuck, right? We think there are only two ways to go. You can be the soft negotiator, you give in just to keep the peace, but then you're kind of kicking yourself later. Or you can go in hard, treating it like a battle. And yeah, you might win, but you've probably torched the relationship along the way. It really feels like a no-win situation. So this whole hard versus soft trap, it actually has a name. It's called positional bargaining. It's when we dig our heels in on a specific stance, our position, and the entire negotiation just becomes about defending our turf, not, actually solving the problem. It's our default setting, and honestly, it's just broken. Okay, let's walk through a classic haggling scene to see how this plays out. You're in a shop, you see this cool brass dish. You ask the price. The shopkeeper says, "I could let it go for $75. And in your head, you're thinking, no way, it's worth maybe 15. Boom, right there, the battle lines are drawn. You've both picked your positions, and now the tug-of-war is on. And of course, this is where things get personal, fast. Your ego gets all wrapped up in your number. The more you argue for your price, the more it becomes about being right. All of a sudden, who even cares about the brass dish anymore? Now it's about not backing down, right? It's about not losing face. The real goal just gets completely lost in the fight. This table just lays out the trap perfectly. You've got the soft player on one side. Their main goal is just to keep the relationship smooth, so they usually end up getting steamrolled. And then you've got the hard player who sees it as a win-lose game, period. And let's be honest, here's the brutal truth. A hard player is going to crush a soft one almost every time in this model. So what are you left with? Fight or fold? That's it. But what if that's a false choice? This is the huge breakthrough idea in Getting to Yes. You don't have to play this broken game. You can literally change the rules entirely. There is a third way. It's called principled negotiation. And it's not about being hard or soft. It's about being smart. Okay, so the very first principle is so simple, but honestly, it's radical. You have to separate the people from the problem. Look, we're not negotiating with robots, right? We're dealing with human beings, people with emotions, with egos, with their own totally valid ways of seeing things. The key, the real trick, is to untangle all that human stuff from the actual issue you're trying to solve. Take a look at this classic example, a tenant and a landlady arguing. The real fight isn't just about the rent money. It's all happening inside their own heads. The tenant thinks, "She's so cold and distant." The landlady is thinking, "I'm a considerate person. He's so demanding." And here's the crucial insight. Those different perceptions, that's not just a small part of the problem. That is the problem you have to solve. So this leads to this amazing mantra. Be soft on the people, but hard on the problem. Think about that. You can go after the issue with everything you've got. Be relentless about solving it without ever attacking the person sitting across from you. It's all about being firm and fair, not aggressive. And this whole mindset, it's the launch pad for everything else that follows. All right, principle number 2. This one is all about digging deeper. It's not enough to just hear what someone is asking for, their position. The real work is to figure out why they're asking for it. What are their underlying interests? The book uses this great little story to explain. Imagine two people in a library, and they are locked in a battle of wills over a window. One is adamant, "I want this window open." And the other is just as firm, "I want this window closed." It sounds like a total deadlock, doesn't it? I mean, for one to win, the other has to lose. If you only focus on their positions, open versus closed, the best you can do is some lame compromise, like, "Okay, we'll open it halfway." And now what? Now they're both miserable. So, in walks the librarian, and she doesn't try to split the difference. She just asks one simple question, why? And it turns out the first person wants some fresh air, and the second one wants to avoid a draft. See? Their positions, open versus closed, were total opposites. But their interests, fresh air versus no draft, weren't in conflict at all. So she just opens a window in the next room. Problem solved. Both get exactly what they really wanted. And this right here is the absolute core of it all. Your position is the what. It's the thing you say you want. But your interests, that's the why. It's all the needs, the concerns, the fears that are driving you to that what. The second you shift your focus from what to why, it's like a whole new universe of creative solutions just opens up. Okay, so that library story is nice, but does this work in the real world with, like, super high stakes? You bet. Let's look at the conflict between Israel and Egypt over the Sinai Peninsula after the 1967 war. They were at a total standstill. Their positions couldn't have been more opposite. Israel was like, we are keeping part of the Sinai, and Egypt was like, you will return every single inch. It was the definition of an all-or-nothing fight. But then, they shifted from positions to interests, and everything changed. What did Israel really want? It wasn't the sand. It was security. They just didn't want enemy tanks on their border. And what did Egypt really want? Sovereignty. It was a matter of national pride and identity. And suddenly, the solution becomes obvious, almost genius in its simplicity. Give the Sinai back to Egypt, satisfying their need for sovereignty, but make the entire area a demilitarized zone, satisfying Israel's need for security. A total win-win. And that incredible example leads us right into the third principle. See, once you know what everyone's true interests are, you can stop fighting over what you thought was a fixed pie. The new goal is to invent options where you both win. The goal is to make the pie bigger for everyone. But this can be really hard for us. Our brains have these built-in traps that stop us. We judge ideas too quickly, killing creativity before it even has a chance. We obsess over finding that one single perfect answer. And the biggest killer of all, we assume the pie is fixed, that for me to get more, you have to get less. These are creativity killers. Think about this super simple story. Two sisters are fighting over the last orange. If they just stick to their position, I want the orange, the best they can do is cut it in half. And now they're both just kind of meh, half satisfied. But what if they asked why? They'd find out one sister wants to eat the fruit and the other one needs the peel to bake a cake. All of a sudden, they can both get 100% of what they really wanted. That right there is the power of inventing options. Okay, so let's pull it all together. The path to yes isn't about being tougher or nicer. It's about a few key shifts in your thinking. First, separate the people from the problem. Second, focus on interests, not positions. And third, invent options where everyone can win. This isn't just a new tactic, you guys. It's a whole new way of looking at conflict. And this chart just lays it out so clearly. Look at the old ways, the soft pushover versus the hard bully. Principled negotiation gives you that third path. Your goal isn't just agreement or victory. It's a wise outcome. You're not yielding to pressure. You're yielding to principle. You get to be soft on the people, which feels good, while being totally relentless and hard on the problem. It is, no exaggeration, a game changer. You know, when you get right down to it, this is so much bigger than just a few negotiation tricks. It's a whole mindset. Learning how to get past that first no and find a creative, principled yes, well, that's how we solve our biggest problems, from tiny arguments at the dinner table to massive global conflicts. So I guess the real question for you is, the next time you have to negotiate something, big or small, are you going to get stuck fighting over positions, or are you going to change the game and start looking for the interests?